What's going on, family? This is your boy Jay, bringing you another recipe video. And tonight we're having Southern style salmon cakes for dinner, or as some folks call them, salmon croquettes. All right. So what you see in front of you right now is the ingredients that I'm using tonight, and these are just the basic ingredients that I use in my salmon cakes, and it really turns out pretty good. All right. So first off, you want to get you a can of salmon. All right. So this is the can that we're using tonight. There's plenty of brands that you can get in the store, but tonight we're going with the Royal Pink. All right. So that's one can of salmon, and it's just me and my wife eating tonight, so we just use one can. If you want to serve enough for like maybe 4 or 5 people, you want to get you 2 cans, all right? But 1 can is enough for 2. All right, we got half of an onion diced up right here. Half of a, I guess, small to medium-sized onion. This is the other half of it right here, so you can see how big of an onion I'm talking about. All right, so that's half of that onion. We got some parsley flakes. We got black pepper right here, some garlic powder, onion powder, Old Bay seasoning, smoked paprika. All right, we got some Maggi pollo as well, and we got Lowry seasoning salt. All right, and for 1 can, we're gonna use this 1 egg. All right, I'm gonna whip this up or whisk it together in just a second. All right, so that's pretty much the ingredients right there. So now I'm gonna open up this can of salmon, and we're about to get into the recipe. All right, so we got our can of salmon open, and when you open it up, you'll see it's got a bunch of juice in there. So honestly, that's good flavor. You want to leave some of it in there, but me personally, I pour some of it off. I don't just leave it all in there. So I'll pour some of it off. I leave some in the can. All right. And first thing you want to do is you want to dump this out into your mixing bowl. You want to separate out the bones. Some folks leave the bones in there. I'm take most of them out, and I do leave some. So you see how much juice I left in that can? That's about how much you want to leave in there. All right, or at least that's what I do. You can leave it all in there if you want. So these are the bones that I'm talking about. You want to take these out. I just get the big ones out. If all the small ones come along with it, great. But if not, it's not the end of the world. All right. Because once you start mixing this stuff up, those small bones, they're gonna get mashed up and broken up. You're not gonna be able to tell they're there. So I just go for the big ones. The skin can stay as well. That's good flavor. Uh-oh, the baby's waking up. One second, guys. All right, guys. So like I was saying, you want to get out the big bones, but the little ones can stay. And if the little ones come out with the big ones, that's great. The skin, you can leave that. It looks like it's just that one piece in there. Shoot. Usually when I get these things, it's 2 and 3, you know, backbones in there. But that was just one big one. Okay. I can work with that. All right. Let me rinse my hand off. All right, and I don't know if I mentioned to you before, I think I probably forgot it, but I got some all-purpose flour right here as well. We're gonna use a little bit of that for to help bind our mix, okay, when we make our patties. So some all-purpose flour. All right. So you don't want to break it up too much right now. We're just gonna get it started. So now you just start adding in your ingredients. So we're gonna go in with our parsley first. That's enough right there, not a whole lot. This salmon in the can is pretty strong, but still is delicate at the same time. I know it's hard to explain, but you don't need a whole lot of seasoning, but you need more than what you think. I know that probably didn't make a whole bunch of sense, but you'll see what I'm doing here in a minute. So that's some black pepper going in right now. All right, garlic powder. Usually when I add in seasons to, that's just about anything that I cook. I don't really use measurements. I just give it like a light sprinkle across the top, and I go across once, or I may go back across 2 times, like that. So that's pretty much how I add seasonings. And that probably is what, a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. Old Bay going in after our onion powder. All right. Our Maggi pollo. our Lowry seasoning salt. Okay. And our smoked paprika. All right. Give that a light mix right now. All right, I'm gonna add in our onion. It's half of a small onion. All right, I'll whip up this egg. All right, I'm gonna add that over top. All right, got our egg in there. I'm gonna give it another good mix. As you can see, I like onion in mine. With that flour, and you start to fry it in that skillet, and it gets that nice good crust on the outside. But the onions that stick out the outside of the patty, those onions, they get fried and they get real caramelized on the corners and they get real sweet. That's my favorite part. So I like to put a good bit of onion in mine. And with one can, I think half of an onion is enough. It's not overpowering, but it still gives you pretty good flavor as well. So it's still loose, because you see as I'm stirring it, it's still breaking apart. It falls apart. What you want is you want the stuff to start binding and sticking together. So now we're gonna go in with our flour. All right, let's get our flour. All right, y'all. So I looked in the bowl and I realized that I really like these salmon croquettes. So I think I'm gonna make some more. So what I'm gonna do is I got another can and I've already picked all the bones and stuff out of it. So this is a second can of salmon going in. All right. So I'm gonna add that to the pot, to the bowl rather. And with 1 can of salmon, I'm gonna add in 1 more beaten egg. All right. So we got another salmon, another egg. All right. So I'm gonna get that mixed in. And of course, as I'm adding in some more salmon, I gotta add more seasoning. All right. I feel like that's mixed in pretty good. So another round of seasoning just to get this second can of salmon caught up with the first one. So black pepper, onion powder, Old Bay, paprika, smoked paprika. You gotta use smoked paprika. That's the key to anything. Lowry seasoning salt. Garlic powder. Maggi pollo. All right. And our parsley. All right, that's good right there. All right. So once I get this mixed in, what I'm gonna be looking for is to get my consistency right so I can start making patties, all right? They don't look like much for y'all who don't eat salmon cakes or never had it before. I know it don't look like much now, but once you make the patties and fry them, it's life-changing good. It's gonna change your life. That's how good it is. It's not gonna make you shout. It's not gonna make you slap your mom. It's not gonna do all that. It's gonna change your life. All right. So you see how it's crumbly? It doesn't even stick to the fork. All right. So now what we want to start doing is adding in our flour. All right. So what I do is I take a spoon. All right, you're gonna scoop it up about that much and just sprinkle it across the top. And just sprinkle it. All right. And since I got 2 cans, I'm gonna start off. I already know I'm gonna need more than 1 spoonful, so I'm gonna do 2. All right. It's best to add in your flour little by little, but I've been doing this for a while, so I just know how much I can add and still mix it in pretty good. So that's 2 spoonfuls of flour sprinkled across the top. Okay, I'm gonna mix that in. All right. And you see now how it's starting to stick together. It's not crumbling or it's not falling all over the place anymore. It's starting to hold to itself. That's what you want to see. All right, like that. Okay. I think I'm gonna do one more spoon of flour, and I think that may be good. And again, that flour, it's kind of like frying chicken, you know. It's that flour is what's gonna help make that crust inside that iron skillet with the grease. And the iron skillet is key as well. And I understand everybody don't have a skillet, so if you don't, I mean, that's cool, use what you have. But the skillet is key to make this recipe, to make this dish taste as best as it possibly can. All right, so I'm gonna do one more spoon of flour. About like that. And evenly sprinkle it across the top. All right. Now I just put onion in here. I know some folks that put, you know, red bell pepper, green onion. I mean, all that stuff is good. If you want to put it in there, go right ahead and put it in. Just for me, I like onions. I think that adds enough flavor, and I think it balances with the salmon pretty good. I would put a little bit of bell pepper if I had some, just to see what it would taste like. I've never done it personally, but if I had some tonight, I probably would for the video. But I decided just to keep it basic, keep it classic, and stick with the onion. And that does pretty good by itself. All right. Yep, that's ready. All right, so this is ready to make patties. So let me give me a little plate to put these patties on, and we're gonna rock and roll with that. All right, hold tight. All right, let me move this stuff out the way. And while you're making the patties, this would be a good time to put your grease inside your skillet or in your pan and start to get your skillet hot, and your grease will warm up as well. So that way when you're done making your patties, you can just go ahead and drop them things in there and get them working. So let me go get my grease in the skillet and get my skillet heating up, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, y'all, so I got my little plate here. I like to put down a little bit of oil on it first, just to help those first few patties not stick. And plus the oil on your hands helps the mix not stick to your fingers. All right, so your patties, I'm just gonna make a little, I like to make a little ball first. That's the way I was taught how to do it. Make your little ball, however big you want, and then you just mash it flat into your patties. And round it up some. It ain't gotta be perfect. We're not serving crab cakes to the president or nothing like that. You know, we're just gonna make you a nice little patty. Like you're doing burgers for the grill. Not as big, of course, but. And that's what I'm talking about. Like how that onion right there is hanging out. That onion, that one right there. All that stuff is gonna get real caramelized, and it's gonna be magic in the pan and in your mouth. So that's one patty right there, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and finish up this bowl, all right? I'm gonna make the rest of these patties. I'll show you how to make one more. Like I said, you scoop some out, make a little ball with it, something like that, and you just mash it. Use your thumb and your fingers to give it some depth from the side. You don't want to make it flat. Don't make it come to a point on the end. You just want to keep it nice and uniform as best as possible. Like I said, it don't gotta be perfect. It's not gonna look pretty. All right, something like that. You guys see that on the side? All right. That's patty number 2. All right, so I'm gonna go around, finish making up these patties, and then next time you see me, we'll be at the pan, at the skillet. Get ready to put these things in the grease and fry them up. All right, get with you guys in a second. All right, y'all, so I think the grease is hot enough now. Let's give it another check. Again, just a little bit of flour. Yeah, that's what I want to see. All right. So we ready to start frying these things up. Yeah, there's plenty of bubbles coming off of there too. I know you guys can see that. So that's the good old toothpick method right there. All right. So one thing you want to keep in mind as you drop these in is that you want to make sure that you drop them away from you, or just very slowly to where you don't burn your fingers up or splash grease everywhere and burn yourself up. All right. And it's actually a little bit too much grease in the pan. You really want to have half this much in there. I guess I got a little bit happy when I started getting ready to fry them up. So I put a little bit too much grease in there, but still you want to keep an eye on them, make sure they get brown. And you want to see that crust develop on the outside. Once you see that, that's how you know you're going to be ready to flip, or they'll pretty much be almost done. Let me wash my hands off. All right. You see how that's golden? That's what you want to see. There's no need to flip them. Again, I got too much grease in here, but I can work with that. Oh yeah, it won't be long now. This one's floating, so he's just about ready. All right, I'm gonna let that one go for a couple more minutes, maybe 1.5. We'll take them out. You guys drop in the comments. Let me know if you guys call them salmon cakes or salmon croquettes. So I grew up, I call them salmon cakes when I met my wife. Her and her family, they call them salmon croquettes. But one thing we can agree on, no matter what they call, they're good. And when you eat these tonight, we're just having just a simple, little salad with them. But you can have, green beans, mashed potatoes with them, corn and rice, whatever the case may be. It's even good for breakfast. Put them on a biscuit with some syrup or some honey, and man, you'll be ready to, take on the day. So, like I said, leave in the comments. Let me know what you guys call them, salmon cakes or salmon croquettes. And if you liked the video so far, if you stuck with me this far, By all means, please give me a thumbs up, like, comment, share it with your friends, and also subscribe. All right, let's flip them. Oh, these looking real good. Let's flip this one. You see what I'm talking about with those onions? How when they fry and they start to get caramelized, it's gonna be like little sweet, like flavor crystals just all over the whole thing. And the ones on the inside, they're gonna be nice and tender. We'll get those a couple more minutes. Man, I don't know what I was thinking. I put way too much grease in this pan. Like I said, I guess I just got excited. When I got ready to fry some salmon cakes, I got ready to fry them. Okay, I'm putting some chicken wings in the deep fryer or something. And you hear that sound, you hear the grease in the pan. That's another thing that you want to listen for to make sure that your grease isn't too hot or that it's not hot enough. It's not boiling and it's not popping all over the place. You want to hear the grease, and when you're frying stuff, you want it to sound like soft rain. And if it is going crazy on you, another good thing to have in the kitchen is a splatter guard, a splatter screen. I got this from Bed Bath & Beyond. And you just lay it on top, and it keeps the grease from splashing all over the place, and it still lets the moisture in the air come out of the pan, so you're not boiling or steaming your food. You're still frying it, but you're keeping the grease down when it pops, kind of like that. It really comes in handy when you're frying bacon too. It keeps your countertop and your stove nice and clean, and keeps that grease from splattering all over the stove, and also keeps you from getting popped. You know, I'm sure a lot of y'all are veterans in the kitchen, so when you get popped by some grease by bacon or something like that, it really doesn't faze you. It don't faze me. But like for my wife or somebody else in the kitchen, this thing right here really comes in handy. All right, so these things are done. I'm gonna give them one more flip as I take them out. Drain off as much grease as I can. Let it drip off and set it off on the paper towels to the side. And we're gonna get ready to do our second batch. It's crazy how much grease I put in this pan. And that's all right, I'm working with it. Everything's not gonna be perfect, y'all. Especially when you get in the kitchen. Recording this video, man, I lost my train of thought. I'm just trying to put a half a gallon of grease in the skillet, but it's all right. You would think I'm frying some fish when I'm dropping these things in here. But like I said, it's still gonna be good. All right, so once these guys right here get done, once they start to float and they get done, I'll show you guys one here in the end, and we're gonna go ahead and eat. All right. And again, just listen to that grease. It's not popping, it's not slinging all over the place. It sounds like soft rain. If it sounds like a lightning storm, thunderstorm in the kitchen when you're frying something, you need to get the fire extinguisher ready, or you need to get some flour because you're gonna have a fire. So you need to turn the fire down, turn the heat down, and just make sure that it sounds like soft rain. When it comes out golden brown, that's how you know you're cooking and you're frying right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let these guys get done. We're gonna go ahead and eat. All right, see you guys in a minute. All right, y'all. So here go the salmon croquettes, and you see on this one right here, how that onion is nice and caramelized, and it's got that nice golden brown crust on the outside. Check this out. Listen to this. That's what you want. All right. That's that flour that we put in there. And I've already been eating on one. And on the inside, it's nice and it's soft and flaky. That's what you want. All right, y'all, so we're getting ready to eat. Thank y'all for tuning in. Again, if you like the video, by all means, give it a thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe. See y'all in the next video. Peace.